The year is 1682. Sunlight streams through the endless windows of Versailles. Fountains gurgle, peacocks preen. King Louis XIV, the Sun King himself, paces. He is bored. Bored by courtiers, bored by gossip, bored by everything except a scratching at the door. Not a servant, no, something else. The king, intrigued, allows it. A cat slinks in, sleek and black as night, but in its mouth a most peculiar burden, a baby, swaddled in rich fabrics. This is no ordinary cat. Its eyes gleam with an unsettling intelligence. It pads across the polished floors, lays the infant at the king's feet and speaks.
She is yours now, your majesty, protect her.
The king stares. His court holds its breath. The reign of the cat and the mystery of the baby has begun. The baby, plump and pink, is clearly of noble birth. The fabrics speak of wealth, the tiny features refined. Yet no one recognizes her. No noble family claims her. The king, captivated by the novelty, names the girl Celeste, after the heavens from which she seems to have fallen, and commands she be raised with all the care due a princess. She shall be called Celeste, and raised as a princess. Celestine, as the cat quickly becomes known, is inseparable from the child. She watches over Celeste with a fierce possessiveness. The king finds this amusing. The court, however, whispers. What does the cat know? What secrets does she guard? And why does the blood on Celeste's swaddling clothes refuse to wash clean? One day, a commotion at the palace gates. A woman, ragged and fierce, demands entry. Her name is Susie Rottencrotch, and the baby Celeste is hers. Guards try to remove her, but her voice, raw with desperation, reaches the king. Intrigued by this new twist, he grants her an audience. She is mine, Celeste is my baby. Susie's story spills forth, a torrent of poverty and despair. She had been a laundress, her life spent among the filth and stench of Paris. Celeste was her only joy. But then came illness and desperation. She had left her baby at the steps of Notre Dame, praying for a miracle. Now she wants her daughter back. Celestine, upon hearing Susie's tale, remains impassive. Her voice, when she speaks, is cold. The child was abandoned. God, in his wisdom, delivered her to me. The court murmurs. A baby entrusted to a cat? Preposterous. Yet who can argue with the creature who seemingly speaks for the Almighty? A cat cannot raise a child. What does she know of lullabies, of motherly love? She turns to the king, her eyes blazing. Your Majesty, surely the church will agree. A cat cannot be a proper guardian. The king, amused by the theological conundrum, summons his most esteemed bishop. The bishop, a man more accustomed to matters of dogma than feline domesticity, is clearly out of his depth. He strokes his beard, adjusts his mitre, and delivers a rambling discourse on the sanctity of motherhood, the evils of animal familiars, and the proper way to roast a capon. However, he concludes, nowhere in the scriptures does it explicitly forbid a talking cat from raising a child, nor does it detail the proper etiquette for addressing a feline who claims divine intervention.
High-pitched French accent. The court erupts in confusion. The king is bewildered. Celestine merely smirks.
The debate rages on for weeks. Theologians are summoned, scriptures consulted, precedents debated. All the while, Celeste thrives under Celestine's watchful care. The cat, it seems, is an exemplary nanny. She soothes Celeste's cries, protects her from drafts, and even, it is whispered, sings her lullabies in an eerie, wordless purr. Finally, weary of the chaos, King Louis XIV issues a decree. Henceforth, the child Celeste shall be officially recognized as a cat. The court is stunned. Susie Rottencrotch is outraged.
high-pitched French accent. Ah, but this is magnifique!
It's the only logical solution. After all, who would question a cat raising one of its own? Life at Versailles returns to a semblance of normalcy, if such a word can ever be applied to a palace ruled by the whims of the Sun King and a talking cat. Celeste, raised as a cat, grows into a wild, spirited child, as comfortable scaling the palace walls as she is sipping tea with the king. My task here is done. You are strong now, Celeste. Never forget who you are, or what you may be. And with a final mournful meow, Celestine disappears into the night.